Did you know that your nonprofit or church could get $10,000 every month in free advertising from Google? That is $120,000 a year to help you reach more people, grow your impact, and spread the mission online. Here's the catch though. Many organizations miss out because they think the process is too complicated. In this video, I'm going to break down all the steps so you can apply for the Google ad grants with zero stress. Let's get started. This $10,000 a month Google grant is free advertising from Google to help your church or nonprofit grow its online presence. There are some steps that we're gonna have to apply for to check your status. If you are a nonprofit, meaning you are a 501c3 registered with the IRS, or if you have state documents stating that you are a nonprofit, you should be eligible. An easy way to find this out is if you hop over to our website, I'll put the link down below. You can answer a couple questions to check your eligibility pretty quickly, and you'll know whether or not you can apply. So I am going to google.com/grants. This is gonna tell you a little bit about it, who's eligible. So we're gonna say we wanna get started. So you'll see here first, you do have to have a Google for Nonprofit account. That is how they're going to verify that you are who you say you are. Initially, you're going to be at google.com/nonprofits. I'm going to pop that link down there in the video as well. You'll want to make sure that you're using the email address that you want to be in this account. If you have a personal Gmail address and a work Gmail address that's associated with your organization, choose which one you want. Sometimes that can get confusing. So I'm going to use a different account and log in. So you don't already have an account, so you're pretty much starting a new one here. So now we're here, it's gonna walk us through some steps. So before we get started, these are our criteria. We are not a school, an academic institution, or a university. Those do not qualify for the Google grant. You are not a hospital or a healthcare provider, and you are not a governmental entity. So as long as you are not any of those three, we're gonna click next. Now it's just asking, where is your organization registered? If you're in the United States, that's the default. If you are not, you're gonna use that drop down and choose which country you are located in. All right, so here's where it's really gonna ask us some questions about your organization. So we're gonna say that we're ready to begin. You do need to have some information here for this application. You need to have your EIN number handy, you need to have your physical address and your contact information. So if you're ready and have all that, let's go. All right, so GoodStack is actually the provider that takes care of the verification for Google. We'll be submitting a 501c3, so you do need to have your documentation handy as well because we'll be uploading that. This is where you can check if you're already in their system. Now, if you haven't done anything with Google for Nonprofits or with the grant, you probably aren't in there. But if your organization, you're gonna start typing that in here, or you can type in your EIN number. So let's see if I am in there already. All right, so you're gonna wanna make sure if there are other churches or organizations with your name, make sure you match up that EIN number. You don't wanna use someone else's information here. So there are probably hundreds of thousands of organizations that are already in their system. If none of them in this list are you, if you scroll down to the very bottom, or you just say, I can't find my organization, and then you're gonna be starting from scratch. So I'm just gonna say that I can't find my organization so that I can show you what that looks like. If you're already in their system, you would literally find that, click next, and then you've already have an account. So then it's gonna take you through some different steps. But if you're brand new, we're gonna say we can't find it. Here's where we're gonna answer some questions. So we're going to put our organization's name. The registry it's going to be asking for is, where is your documentation from? Is it from the IRS? Is it from is it your state? You're gonna wanna choose where your legal documents are from. IRS is the very first one. So if you've got a 501 determination letter, that's what you're gonna choose. If you're pulling out state documents, pull whatever state you're from. Okay, your registration number is your EIN number, so this is where you need to add that in. Now it's asking for the evidence. So here's where you need to browse your computer and upload your file. So I'm gonna upload my document and then I'm going to hit next. All right, now it's asking you for your website. This is where you're gonna put that in. Okay, what is the physical address? All right, this is important. It's asking you what your mission statement is. So as you can see here, it does say, write a brief mission statement that starts with the name of your organization. That is important. So this is a lot of times on your about page. So you can go to your website, copy that, but you might need to change some of the wording to have that sentence start with the name of your organization. So is to blah, blah, blah. Now you're choosing your primary category. If you're a church, this would be the religious activities. You can choose for, if you're a nonprofit, you're going to choose whatever category that best suits your organization. And then you also need a subcategory. So we've chosen religious activities for the church organization that we're working with. And here is where you can choose if you're a church auxiliary, if you are just a religious organization, and we're going to hit next. And now it's going to ask you for you, the person filling this out, what is your information? This is where they are going to send the emails regarding your application. So make sure that you put your correct information. If you want their newsletters and all that business, you can check this little box. If you don't, you're just going to hit next, and then it's going to ask you right here. It says you're almost done. Now you need to just confirm that you agree with their policies. You are confirming that you are a representative of the organization that you're applying for, that your organization does not discriminate against any person. You can read that there, and that you've read their terms and conditions. If you agree to those, you are going to check this box, and then you are allowed to hit submit. So you'll see here, once you apply for the nonprofit account, this does take 2 to 14 business days. I have found that some of these applications can be slower than others. You might hear back within 2 days. It might take the full 2 weeks. It just depends on how backlogged Google is. GoodStack is the company that performs the verification, so you will receive an email right away that your application has gone through. If they request any other information from you, this is where they're going to ask you for that. So make sure you keep an eye on your email over the next couple of days so that you can be out on the lookout for anything they're asking for additionally from you. All right, so this was the first step in applying for a Google grant. So initially, right, we've got to get that Google for Nonprofit account, because within this account is where the Google grant application is located. All right, so immediately check your email. Like I said, GoodStack is verifying your email address. So I'm going to verify my email. You're just checking that little box and saying, yes, I did apply. All right, so now we have a thank you for verifying. So we can close that, and our application's being processed. Now we wait 2 to 14 business days. Okay, so it's been the 2 to 14 days. We've checked our email, and we get an email from Google for Nonprofits. Welcome, let's get started. This is the first step, because now we've got our nonprofit account, and now we can go activate the Google grant. It's going to take us to our nonprofit account. Make sure you're using the correct email address that you originated your application with. All right, so now you're in your nonprofit account. You'll see there's a products tab, there's your administrators. Google Workspace for Nonprofits is now something that you have access to. This is a free account if you use like G Suite. Well, this used to be G Suite, now it's Google for Nonprofits, or Google Workspace, excuse me. So if you have a Google Workspace account that you pay for with email addresses, now you can move everything into this account and use the free product here. Your grant is going to be located here. Now, I just submitted this, but you'll see where it just says, like here, get started. You're going to click get started. It's going to ask you for your website address. So you're going to pop your website in there. It has a little get started video that it's wanting you to watch. And then once you've watched that video, you can click the checkbox and then submit your application. Now, the Google grant does take 2 to 5 business days to hear back from. What they're checking for is that you have a high quality website that is SSL secure, that you have mission aligned content. So you do need to have your mission statement. You need to have calls to action, really good relevant content that is based on what you're trying to advertise for. That's going to be something that they're looking for. So as long as you qualify for that, that's what they're looking for as far as the grant application is concerned. Once you hear back from Google, you'll get another email that says you've either been approved for the Google grant or that your application needs more help. If your application needs more help, you're going to pop back into your nonprofit account, where it then is going to give you some tips as far as, hey, this is why you got denied. It will tell you if your website doesn't meet their standards. It will tell you if you need calls to action, if they want to see your mission statement or your nonprofit status. It can be a little vague, but sometimes they are specific. So it'll give you the reasons why you initially got denied. So check your emails and we'll go from there. All right, so we're back. We got our grant account email 3 to 5 days after that application. Now we got approved. So you're going to get the email that says you have been approved. You are going to click the link. It's going to take you straight into Google Ads, where you'll see your customer ID number. This is all, again, tied into your nonprofit account. So if you ever lose that email from Google, as long as you have access into your nonprofit account, which is here, that is also going to show you your customer ID, which is going to be important. So now we can go straight into Google Ads, where we see our initial ads account. So when we first get started in a Google Grant account, it is blank, right? There are no ads running. This is the time where some people will get in and struggle to get things going. They will get a little frustrated. They get a little overwhelmed. That's all right. If you follow the steps that we've gone over here and make it all the way to the end and get approved, congratulations. Now it's time to work on setting up your campaigns and ads to maximize that account. If you have trouble, we've got another video to help you maximize your $10,000 a month grant with our tips and tricks. Some common mistakes that people make when applying for the Google grant is that they get mixed up with what email address they initially wanted to use. So then they lose access to their account. It's very important that you remember the email address that you apply with is the only one that's attached to your nonprofit account and that's going to be attached to the Google Ads account. Now, once you get these accounts, you can add anybody in there later, but initially you're stuck with the initial email address that you applied with. So that's one really important thing to note, and one of the most common mistakes that I see when talking to organizations. Somebody set this up a long time ago and that person may no longer be there. That's the only person that was in the account. This is all tied to your organization. So Google takes this security pretty seriously. They're not going to just let somebody in that says, oh yeah, I work for First Baptist Church of blah, blah, blah. You do have to prove that you're with that organization. So you've got to go through some back doors, which we don't want to do. So make sure that you are providing accurate email addresses there and staying on top of your inbox to not miss any communication from Google, because they potentially could be waiting for something else for you. Also, make sure that you have the proper nonprofit documentation. What they're requesting, either state documents or from the IRS, is important. So if your information and your name does not match the name that you're applying for, that's going to cause a problem. If you don't have your EIN information, you almost can't even get started. So make sure you have the documentation that is requested so that you can move through the process pretty smoothly. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions for us. If you happen to get stuck, we're more than happy to try to help. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you can get more tips and tricks that we'd love to help you with. Now that you've gotten the Google grant, if you need help getting that first initial campaign and ad set up, don't forget to check out our other video where we talk about maximizing the account and getting everything running.